Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my yearly beauty favorites for 2016, except this is going to be my high-end version. I have already posted my drugstore version, which I'll link down below. And so now I'm just going to go through all this like more high-end makeup. I did include like a little bit of skincare, but I am going to do a skincare like morning and night routine, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is in no particular order because I've just got it all sitting here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And the first one is a bronzer, and this is the Sephora bronzer in Los Cabos. I actually picked this one up in Florida in the shade Fiji because I was a little more tan, but when I come back up here to Virginia, I had to go and get a lighter shade. And again, this is Los Cabos, but it's not a matte bronzer, and it doesn't have any shimmer in it, though. It's like a satin bronzer, so it looks really natural on the skin while still looking really glowy. I really like it. It is a little bit more on the warmer side, so I'd definitely be careful if you definitely, you know, are a little bit more on the fair side. But they do have a lot of bronzers. I really like this formula. It blends really nicely. And for me, this was just the bronzer that I kind of kept going back to for most of the year. And then I do have a translucent powder. This is a Mercier one. I repurchased this, I think, like during the Sephora VIB sale, but that literally lasted me almost a complete and total year. But I really like this powder. It's really nice. It's just a translucent powder. It does a great job at setting underneath your eyes. I actually like to set it underneath my eyes with a sponge because I find that if I just use a brush and set this, sometimes it can look a little bit cakey, but if I use a damp sponge, it looks fine. I'll use it to clean up my contour, anything like that. I just think it's a really great powder. I feel like that wasn't everybody's really favorites though. Believe it or not, I only have one eyeshadow palette. I did discover quite a few eyeshadow palettes towards the end of the year, but I didn't like really want to include those since I hadn't used them for, you know, the complete year of 2016. But this is by Stila, and this is the Eyes of the Window palette in the shade Spirit. I did a full review and swatches of this, so if you guys want to see a little bit more of an in-depth review, I'll make sure to link it down below. But as I had mentioned, this is a drier formula, so I think this is one of those eyeshadow palettes that you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. And I love it because there's minimal fallout. The colors are like really easy to build up and blend. They don't blend into each other. It just creates like a nice seamless eye makeup look. And I just, for me, like, I mean, I'm still using this palette all the way into 2017, so I definitely wanted to mention it. Now for blushes, I actually do have two brands of blushes that really stood out to me this year. And the first one is the LORAC blushes. I just picked up two of my favorites. One is Tinge, and it's just a really pale, like peachy nude shade. And then Aura, or Aura, I'm not sure, A-U-R-A. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but this is a little bit more of like a deepy mauve shade. I just really liked both of these. I think that they are gorgeous on the skin. I love the formula. Again, super pigmented, but really easy to blend. So if you go overboard, you can just come in and stipple it out and make it look a little bit more subtle. But I just love the formula. I gotta be honest, out of all the blushes I've ever tried, I think this might be my all-time favorite formula of blushes. And then probably in close second comes the Urban Decay blushes. I love these. I love the packaging. Again, I just grabbed two. This is Rapture and Fetish. Fetish is my all-time favorite. It's just like a deeper kind of rosy shade. I think it looks gorgeous with any look, and this has definitely been like one of my go-to blushes. And then Rapture, which is a little bit deeper, and this has like a little bit of like some golden shimmers in it, but I think it looks gorgeous, especially in the fall time. I could not stop wearing this blush. I think it's just so stunning. And again, this is just a great formula. It's really nice and pigmented, but it blends out really nicely. It doesn't look patchy or anything. And then for highlight, I did pick, actually I do have another powder I missed, but I'll get back to that. But for highlighter, the LORAC highlighters really blew me away. I'll be honest, I feel like I'm one of those people that I don't like a super like highlighted cheekbone, like where it looks wet. I like something that's a little more natural that you can kind of see when the light hits it or the sun hits it, something that's a little more subtle. And I like that because this is kind of how the LORAC highlighters are. If you want to just dampen your brush, then these can get super intense, but I kind of like them on their own. I have the shade Starlight and Daylight, and I have another shade in there, but it's too deep for me. But I really like both of these. This is Starlight and this is Daylight. They're gorgeous. The formula is really nice. Again, I just like it because it's subtle. But you can, like I said, make these really intense, but I prefer them because they're just a little more subtle. This one I did tend to wear more during the summer months, while this one was just more like all year round because this looks a little bit better on my skin tone. But this is a golden kind of peach, and this is like a golden champagne shade. Both really pretty and great formula. And then this one was kind of like, I kind of discovered this one towards the end of the year, but I had to include it. This is the Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder and Highlight 01, and I love this. It is so stunning. Kathleen Lights was like always mentioning it, and several times I had been in store and I had swatched it and I was just like, I don't know. But then when the Sephora VIB sale come around, I decided I wanted to pick this up, and I love it. It is so gorgeous and so stunning. This is something that, again, I can wear on an everyday basis. It's really like light and natural, and it just looks like, it doesn't look like you have highlight on, but again, it's one of those that when you get out in like the sunlight or something and you turn your head the right way, you know, it just looks gorgeous. But this is been my go-to. The only thing I hate about baked products is mine has started to rust up a little bit already around the edges, but again, this is probably a highlight that I would repurchase just because I love how beautiful and natural that it looks. Now, going back to that powder that I missed, this is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. This is the loose one. I know they have a pressed version, but I actually like this to set underneath my eyes. I think it's a really finely milled powder. It kind of brightens up that area because even though this does say that it's translucent, I find that it does have like a hint of like a brightening effect to it. I really like this. I kind of got away from it, but it was definitely a staple for me for like at least over half of the year before I started trying out different under eye setting powders and stuff. But I would really recommend this because it doesn't like make my under eye area look cakey. It's smooth. It feels like really smooth, and like, I guess it does say poreless, but I didn't focus it, like I said, on my entire face. It was just under my eyes, but I do really like it for under the eyes. Now for primers, there is 3 that I want to mention. The first one is the LORAC POREfection Mattifying Face Primer. This is oil-free, paraben-free, and fragrance-free. This is like a silicone-y primer. You can definitely tell when you put it on, which I don't usually like, especially on my oily skin. But this like smooths out my pores, my fine lines, and everything so incredibly well. And you guys can probably tell, like, I've used so much of this already. I love this, and it's like my makeup glides over top of it. I found that it just makes my foundation and everything just look so much better. I do still like my Smashbox primer, which I am going to mention. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer in Light. I'll talk about this all the time. This is a brand new one. But I love this one with the Smashbox Primer Water. I think in conjunction they work really well together. The only thing that I like about the LORAC one is the fact that it really just kind of fills in my pores, whereas this one just kind of creates a nice base that really wears or makes my makeup last a lot longer. So that's kind of why I feel like I lean towards this one more like on warmer days, but then this is just really nice to like, when I use this, I just feel like my makeup looks 10 times better. But on top of that, I really like using like eyeshadows that aren't as intense or like foiled ones. I like to squirt this on a brush, and then it just applies that eyeshadow, makes it look more wet and gives it like that foiled appearance. But I really like both of these, and I'm usually not a fan of like primer waters or like sprays, but this one I do really like. I do like it better than Max Fix Plus too. So now for brows, I did have 2 high-end products that I want to mention. They're both by Anastasia. I did try out some of the Benefit products this year, and I just found it quite hard to get like my color right, one that I thought looked as well as I feel like the Anastasia range has. I feel like it just has a better range, and I just always going back to hers. I don't know, I had tried the Gimme Brow before, but a lot of people really liked it, and I'm not saying I don't like the Benefit ones, but I just found like it was just too hard because I just felt like they didn't have a great shade range. A lot of the colors I kept trying was a little bit too warm for me. But this is the Anastasia brow powder in darker brown. I just really like this because I like to set my brow pencil or my pomade depending on whatever I decide to use. And this is just a great powder. I think it does a really good job. You don't get a lot of fallout from this. And then this is just her pomade in dark brown. This is a brand new tube, but I really like this. The only downside is I feel like I can't get through a complete tube of this. I can only use about half before it completely dries up on me, which kind of bums me out, but I've yet to find a pomade that I like as much as this one. I do like the Ardell one, but that's from the drugstore. So if you're looking for a great alternative, I definitely recommend the Ardell one. But I don't know, I feel like Anastasia, like, I always go back to her for brow products. Like, I love my L'Oreal like Brow Stylist Definer Pencil, but for me, Anastasia is always just going to have the best brow products. Next, I want to mention just 3 foundations because I don't know, I tried a lot of foundations this year, but the first one is the Urban Decay All Nighter. Mine's disgusting, you guys can tell, but I've used quite a bit of it, as you can see as well. It comes with a pump. It's $40. It's a really nice foundation. I did do a review of this as well that I'll link down below, but I am in the shade 3.25, which is the only one with the neutral undertone, I believe. But I really like this. The only downside is it does oxidize. But my skin has cleared up, especially since I've been using the Foreo Luna 2 for oily skin. So I've found that I don't need something as full coverage. So I've kind of stepped away from this and went for foundations that's got more of like a medium to buildable full coverage in case there is some areas I do need to build up. but I still love this. It was definitely one of my holy grail foundations. Moving on to two more foundations. This is the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Oil Free Photo Edition Foundation. I believe I actually have a review of this as well, but I really like this. I like how natural it looks on my skin. I like that it keeps me not like super matte, it's more of like a demi-matte finish, but I like it because I can build it up to full coverage in areas that I need it. This is one of those foundations that I do kind of, my shine starts to show through, but it's not bad. It makes my skin look like glowy, so I don't mind it at all. But I love this. It's one that I continue just to go back to like all the time, and definitely a favorite. Now this last one has been a favorite for mine, I feel like, for many years. Woo. But this is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus. I've got the shade 30. I do keep it in the box because this doesn't have the shade on it, but I am in the shade 30. I really like this. Again, it's one of those foundations that does oxidize on me at just a small amount. But here lately, I have it on today. I use the NYX the NYX like drops that they just come out with. I mix those in just to kind of lighten this up a little bit. I use the shade Porcelain, and I love it. I think that it kind of makes this foundation not so thick. It goes on a little bit better. And it does last about the same amount of time. I don't find that those NYX drops affect like the longevity of this or whatever, but it does create that matte velvet finish like it says. It's just a really great foundation, and it holds up on my oily skin really well, and it is more of a medium coverage, which is kind of what I've been going for. Now moving on to concealers. Oops, actually I forgot a primer. This is the Stila One Step Correct Primer. I was obsessed with this. As you guys can see, I've used over half of it. I love this, especially if my skin, like I've got some redness and some breakouts, because this kind of helps neutralize this while kind of brightening up my complexion. It's not the best for like keeping my oils at bay and stuff, but it does do a great job at just kind of neutralizing everything. So sometimes if like my face is a little bit more red that day, or I'm having some irritation, I do gravitate towards this one because I think it does do a really great job at just kind of neutralizing all that. It does come, like it looks like 3 separate shades, but when you pump it out, I just kind of mix it together and then apply it to my face. And it does do a really great job. It doesn't correct it as well as like if you come in with an actual like green shade that you want to correct redness with or anything, but it does do like a great job, I find, you know, for a primer to definitely help neutralize that. The next one, I wasn't sure what category to kind of include this in, but this is the Kula Face Mineral Sunscreen. This is the unscented one, and this is the matte tint. So I really like this. This was a product that I'd actually purchased before I went to Florida because I had gotten a sample from Ulta. I like this. As again, you guys can see I've used quite a bit of it. It does say it has a matte tint. I do like, that's one of the reasons that I do like this. It was one of those things that when I was in Florida, if we wanted to, like when we got from the beach, we wanted to go to the bar, get a drink or something, I could just take this out, squirt it on my hand, apply it, and my face wasn't oily, it wasn't greasy, it just looked nice and like not too matte though, like my skin still looked natural. It doesn't cover up like acne or anything, but I found that it did cover up some of the redness. So this is a product that I really like. I think it's great to wear under, this is like more of a sunscreen, I think. It says it's a natural BB cream, but this is something that I would put under a BB cream, but I do really like it. And again, it's just one of those products that when summer was here, I like continually went back to, but I would definitely recommend checking this out. I think you can get this brand, I know you can get it at Ulta, but I don't know, can you get this at Sephora? I'm not sure, but I got mine at Ulta. I only have one concealer this year, high-end concealer, that I felt like I went back to because my Catrice one from the drugstore, just like, I cannot get away from that one. I love that one, but this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear One Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer in 1N Extra Light Neutral. I do have the waterproof one, which I've been trying out, and I like it, but I don't love it like I love this one. I just like the applicator. It comes with the doe foot applicator. It's just really nice. It's a creamy concealer, but it doesn't crease. It lasts a really nice time underneath the eyes. But something that I really like this for is for treating, like, not treating, but concealing blemishes or anything. This does a really good job, but I do like it underneath the eyes as well. Now, I only have 2 lip products that I felt like I just continually went back to. This is the Too Faced Melted Matte. I just picked up my favorite shade. This is the shade Lady Balls. I love this. It's a gorgeous red shade, but this has definitely become one of my all-time favorite liquid lipstick formulas. I feel like, I don't know, like, I like liquid lipsticks, but this year I kind of felt like I kind of went back to like classic lipsticks and glossy lips. I don't know why, but I do like this, and it was definitely, like I said, one of my favorite high-end liquid lipstick formulas. As far as lip liners, the Huda Beauty lip liners, I think they're called lip contours, were by far my favorite. I kind of discovered this through a kit. Like, she came out with little like sets that had like 2 miniature liquid lipsticks and then a full size one of these. I do not like her liquid lipsticks at all, but I love her lip liners. They are so creamy, but so incredibly long lasting, and I love to just fill my lips in and that's it, or put a gloss over it. But I love these. This is definitely my favorite high-end formula of liquid lipsticks. Probably, like the MAC ones were really hard for me to get away from, but I definitely discovered a lot more drugstore ones I like this year. But for high-end, I definitely think this is better than the MAC ones, and I think these might be a little bit more affordable as well, so I would definitely check them out. And then the last liquid lipsticks was the Stila ones, and I just grabbed this set right here. I have purchased several of these in the full size as well, but this one is my favorite shade. This is in Sarita, and then Perla, I don't know. And this was a limited edition set, but these are great little sets to get, especially if you're someone who has a ton of lip colors and you're afraid you're not going to get to wear them before they dry out. I really recommend getting sets that's got the smaller ones in there. But I really like these. Stila does have my favorite formula of all time of liquid lipsticks. They're a little bit more on the moussey side, which I like because I think you get a little bit more control. But these for me was definitely my favorite. Now the last product I have is skincare, and I wanted to mention a product from Bliss. This is the Fabulous Makeup Melt Gel to Oil Cleanser. This is my second one of these. This I know, like I think you can get some of this at Sephora, but I purchased this at Ulta, and all the time Ulta has 25% off of this brand. So I definitely pick it up during that because like this past year I seen that they had 25% off several times throughout the year. But I really like this. I didn't think I'd like gel to oil cleansers, but I think this does a great job at removing waterproof like mascara, eyeliner, all my foundation, all my makeup. Like anytime I have a full face on, I always gravitate towards this because it does such a great job. It comes out as a gel and then you kind of apply it and it turns into an oil. I also feel like this does a great job at removing the makeup from like deep down in my skin because I find when I go in with my cleanser, I don't get off as much makeup as I did when I was just using like my typical wipes or other products to kind of, you know, cleanse my face. My all-time favorite like cleanser is the Origins Checks and Balances Frothy Face Wash. You guys can see this is a brand new one. You will definitely see in an upcoming empties video. I've gone through 2 more of these, but I love this. It's my favorite. This is what I use with my Foreo. I think that it does an amazing job with the Foreo and without it. It almost gives your face like that squeaky clean feeling, but this has made such a dramatic improvement in my skin. Like the moment I started using this, my skin felt better, it felt cleaner. Like it didn't help with my acne or anything, but it helped with my pores and cleansing my skin. I didn't suffer from as many breakouts since I started incorporating this into my skincare routine. And then I do have another Origins product. This is the High Potency Night. I recommended this in my Sephora recommendations for the VIB sale. I love this. I can tell, again, it's a product I can tell the difference when I wake up the next morning. My skin is brighter. It just looks healthier, whereas if I skip this for a couple of days, I notice my skin isn't like that. It's kind of dull. It's not as like moisturized, I guess you could say. It doesn't look as healthy or feel as good when I use this. And then lastly is the Foreo Luna 2 for oily skin, and I'm going to be doing a really in-depth review of this and a demo, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but I absolutely love this. I feel like it has dramatically helped my pores, it's helped my overall skin texture, and again, I will go more in depth about this, but I definitely think it is worth the purchase. So yeah, that is it, guys. So I hope I got through this a little bit faster than I did my, no I didn't, because I'm looking at her and it says 18 minutes, but I was hoping I got through it a little bit quicker than I did my drugstore one. But yeah, I would love to know your guys' high-end favorites. Again, like I know some of these you guys probably heard me say throughout the year quite a bit, but they really were just my staples. So yeah, that is it for my yearly favorites. If you guys had any of the same ones or if you guys had any different ones, I'd like to know down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.